My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. UFC Vegas 34, we got through the weigh-ins, barely any issues at all. I have very few bets. Jacob has a ton of bets, and Dan is somewhere in between. The dynamic here is very different. You made a face, dude. You have like 9 bets.
I think one of them is just, I think 3 bets or 1 fight. So we'll see.
Okay, it's still multiple.
Feel free to fast forward if you'd like.
So I'm going to walk through mine. Jacob will walk through his, and then I will walk through Dan's because he's on just some slow uphill walk. He's calling it a hike, pretending it's important, but it isn't. So let's get through these. Right out of the gate, I have money line on Parker Porter. Parker Porter is a personal friend of mine, so take that for what you want. But what I will say is he looked phenomenal on the scale. I know for a fact he's been training really, really hard for this fight. He's got wrestling, he's got leg kicks, and he has very good in and out boxing. Jay Sherman, his opponent, is basically just a boxer with no head movement. He's big, he's tough, but he doesn't move his head, and he only throws hands. I have Parker winning this fight, genuinely. Again, I'm probably biased, so you do what you want, but I genuinely have Parker winning this fight, and he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. Then I have 3 prop bets. I have that the Parker Porter Chase Sherman fight is over 1.5 rounds. I had to put 2 units on that because that's minus 165. So I had to put 2 units on that to cover it. But I do think while they are heavyweights and they're both strikers, I do think it'll be a manageable pace in this fight. I don't think it'll be a wild train wreck. And I don't think Parker's not going to get knocked out immediately. Chase isn't going to get knocked out immediately. So I like the over on 1.5. Same with Knight versus Charant. So I know everybody's high on Knight, and he's a tank of a man. He's got power in his hands. He can also wrestle, and he has cardio. And I know Fabio Charant looked terrible in his last outing, but Fabio Charant took that on short notice. He's genuinely a good fighter, and he looked great on the scales today, like great.
Really
on
good.
The scales today. So I'm starting to back off of William Knight a bit. I took him out of my DraftKings lineup, and I didn't have a bet on him, but I do have a bet on the over on rounds. And no matter what, this I'm very confident in. I definitely think this is going to go over on rounds. I'm probably going to throw another unit on this because William Knight, although he has that intense power, he does sort of plot forward. He doesn't come in like a wild hurricane. He's not like an older Alonzo Menafield who gasses and, it's just twitch. He does take his time. He works in some grappling, holds you against the cage for those takedowns. And Fabio Charant likes to back up. So I like the over 1.5 rounds here. I probably will put another unit on that. I'm not sure yet, but I probably will because it is minus 150. And I'm very confident in that. And then my last one is Roberts versus Bahamondes under 2.5 rounds. That's basically means it's not going to go the distance and you get much better odds. They're going to go at it. I really like Roosevelt Roberts and Bahamondes in this fight. I think they're absolutely going to go at it. Somebody's going to get stopped. So I'll get plus odds on that at plus 135, where does not go the distance was not quite as good. So I'm a little more conservative this week than usual, but got to put some money on my buddy. And then I like the round prop bets when fights are super close. I like the round prop bets. So that's where I am. Jakey Poo, why don't you walk us through yours?
Yeah, this is a weird week because even these bets are kind of conservative for me. As you go up and down, usually when you have fighters that you can kind of tell if this fighter wins, this is how they're going to win. And if this fighter wins, this is how they're going to win. Either like grappling versus striker or vice versa, knockout artists. On this card, there's a lot of just evenly matched, everyone's good at the same type of thing fighters on this card, which is kind of a weird way to put it, but that's how it is. So I kind of went a little bit conservative on my matchups as well, and I'll go down to explain them. Kevin Gastelum, weight miss, not concerned. He looked great. I love him in this matchup, so I put a unit on 136. Austin Lingo, lock of the week. I always will put my money where my mouth is on lock of the week. I put a full unit. Remember, a unit could be like $1,000, honestly. It could be $10,000 that I put on the lock of the week at plus 103. I just love his striking abilities. I think he pieced them up. So then it goes down to the prop bet. So the Pantoja Royval fight, I think is going to be an absolute war. I think, and I saw people in the comments at the weigh-in saying that this should be the co-main event. No, no disrespect to Guida and Madsen, but this should have been the co-main event. I think it's just going to be an absolute war. So I took the does not go the distance at minus 105. Usually I'm always looking for plus money on my bets, but this one I love at minus 105.
I mean, that's basically even money. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love this at minus 105. And then I'm going to skip to the Royval wins by submission bet. So in that bet, I can kind of not double my money, but get ridiculous amount of my money if it does not go the distance and Royval wins by submission. Listen, this guy won his last, I think, 4 fights by submission. Obviously, Pantoja is a different animal, but I think he's got like 8 of his 12 wins or something like that by submission. I don't know why the submission odds are like this. The guy is always jumping around, trying to jump on something. If he gets knocked down, it's throwing up triangles. He's doing wild stuff. So I love these submission odds by round at plus 1,500, plus 1,700, plus 2,200.
He got so excited, he ripped the cord out of his microphone. That's how excited Jacob is about these fights.
Okay, so I had the issue with the mic. I'm not sure where I left off. I think I was talking about Royval submissions, plus 1,500, plus 1,700, plus 2,200. I got so excited, I thought I was counting money already. But the nice part about this is that Pantoja Royval does not go the distance, kind of covers my bet a little bit. So I have the submission specific, but if Pantoja wins inside the distance, I still get paid. If Royval knocks him out, I still get paid. This is just like a more specific bet on top of the does not go the distance bet. I skipped the Clay Guida, but this is just off the fact. Clay Guida, I think his last submission win is like 2011 or something. This is basically just Madsen just is absolutely going to shoot takedown, shoot takedown, shoot takedown. That eventually, I think Clay Guida, he might get tired. Not Clay Guida won't get tired. He never gets tired, but the other guy might get tired where Guida might be able to get a submission on an entry. So I'm just kind of chasing one there. I only put a half unit, but plus 675 on all those shots. I'm going to go ahead and chase that. And then I went up with a parlay. If you guys didn't know, I'm the only person that's hit like two 5-fight parlays. There's a lot of matchup in this that are so close that I could only get it to 4, but I have Kelleher, big favorite. Royval, as you mentioned, I think he's going to win. Remiz, and then Hubbard for plus 1,200 for a full unit. So I'm big on Royval in this fight. Obviously, the lock of week lingo, and then I got the 4-fight parlay. So I'm feeling good. Yeah, that's it.
Lots of super specific bets. We're doing a live stream for the fights. It'll be very interesting to see Jacob's reactions during those. Let's do Danny's bets. So Danny Boy isn't here. He's doing a slow hike. But let's walk through his. He's got a bunch of money lines this week. He has Fabio Charant plus 185. He's been saying from the beginning he thinks Fabio beats William Knight. Yeah, check out our individual breakdown video if you want more details. But he has Fabio winning that fight. He has for a long time now, not just since the weigh-ins when he looked really good. And Fabio is training at Sanford MMA, which can only help him. He's all over Clay Guida. When I tell you Dan is all over Clay Guida in this fight, I mean, if you go back, we did an interview with Dean Thomas last week, over a week, 10 days ago, and Dan talked about it there, saying he thinks Clay Guida wins this fight. So check that out if you want the details, and check out our individual breakdown, but he just thinks Clay Guida's relentless cardio, Madsen's not so great cardio, and horrific stand-up, that Clay Guida gets it done, and he put 1.5 units on that. He went Chase Sherman against our boy Parker Porter. Completely disagree with that pick. Completely disagree with it. And then he has Pantoja 1.5 units as well. I do agree with that pick. There's levels to this. Pantoja is very, very good.
Let me step in real quick because you guys have always been on the Parker Porter, Chase Sherman. I don't know. You guys need to go back and rewatch, but I could have sworn that Chase Sherman was like labored walking into weigh-ins. I sent you guys that video, but it looked like he was limping. Yeah, it looked like he was late, like almost like limping going into weigh-in. So that's something to keep an eye on. Because you mentioned the leg kicks before of Parker Porter. So
he chops down those trees. And then he's got a couple of prop bets. He has Pantoja wins inside the distance plus 200. The Pantoja Royval does not go the distance, so sort of a hedge bet there. And then Clay Guida wins inside the distance, but a decision is no action. I actually like that one because I think Madsen wins. You have an Olympic silver medalist versus literally a carpenter. So I think Madsen wins this fight, but I don't think he's going to finish Clay Guida. So I do like this bet. What this is basically saying, if Clay Guida gets a finish, you get paid out. If Clay Guida loses a decision, no big deal. You get a refund. Doesn't matter. Here's your money back. Thanks for playing. You're only going to get that at WeWantPicks.com/bets. Check it out. Everything you need is there. These are our bets for these fights. If you have any tips or anything that you want to recommend to us, put them in the comments. We follow along. Somebody a few weeks ago did the greatest parlay I've ever seen in my life. Every single fight on the card over a half a round. This card I wouldn't do that with, but that card, it was perfect and it hit. So with that being said, weonpicks.com/bets. Grab yourself a promo. Let us know after you did it, and I'll go ahead and I'll send you $20. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the live stream on Saturday.